1. Micro tail flicks as silent emotional indicators. Micro tail flicks function as low-intensity communication signals reflecting subtle emotional adjustments rather than major shifts in behavioral state. Ethological research classifies these small movements as intermediary reactions occurring between calm postures and alertness, often in response to mild environmental changes, background noise, or shifting sensory input. Scientific analysis highlights the tail's finely tuned neuromuscular structure, which enables rapid, autonomic adjustments that correlate closely with early arousal or cognitive activation. Emotionally, these microflicks indicate mild irritation, internal conflict, anticipation, or restrained curiosity, serving as precursors to more conspicuous body language cues, such as full tail lashes or posture changes. Within behavioral interpretation, recognizing micro-tail flicks provides insight into overstimulation thresholds, subtle discomfort, sensory overload, or divided attention during ambiguous situations. This signal contributes to clearer understanding of real-time sensory processing, emotional boundary setting, and arousal regulation within multi-species environments, offering a reliable indicator of early-stage tension or cognitive engagement before escalation into overt behavioral responses. 2. Slow blinks as controlled trust displays. Slow blinking operates as a non-threatening visual signal that communicates calmness, perceived safety, and a reduction in defensive readiness. Ethological evidence traces this behavior to cooperative social patterns in feline groups, where individuals intentionally lower vigilance to indicate security and mutual acceptance. Scientific research associates slow blinking with increased parasympathetic nervous system activity, reflecting physiological relaxation, lowered stress hormones, and stabilized emotional regulation. Emotionally, this gesture represents a controlled display of vulnerability in the presence of another being, functioning as a high-level trust marker rather than a casual or automatic expression. From a behavioral analysis perspective, slow blinking acts as a mechanism for reinforcing social harmony, enhancing affiliative bonds, and promoting cooperative social environments. Recognizing this pattern provides clearer insight into comfort gradients, social compatibility, and the strength of relational connections within nonverbal communication systems. This cue ultimately supports interpretation of positive emotional states, stable group dynamics, and secure social affiliations. 3. Whisker position as a real-time mood gauge. Whisker orientation functions as an immediate and highly accurate indicator of sensory engagement, environmental assessment, and emotional activation. Ethological patterns document that whiskers shift forward during investigative behavior, reflecting active information gathering, while backward retraction occurs during withdrawal, defensive readiness, or uncertainty. Scientific research identifies whisker movement as controlled by specialized facial muscles and dense nerve clusters that respond rapidly to subtle changes in external stimuli, enabling precise navigation and early threat detection. Emotionally, forward-positioned whiskers represent curiosity, focused interest, or heightened exploratory drive, whereas retracted whiskers signal tension, discomfort, apprehension, or internal conflict. In practical behavioral interpretation, whisker position provides a clear window into mental states ranging from relaxed exploration to mild stress or anticipatory caution, making it a reliable tool for decoding subtle mood shifts. This signal assists observers in distinguishing genuine, investigative intent from overstimulation risk or emerging unease, clarifying internal states before they manifest as more overt behavioral responses. 4. Paw kneading as comfort memory expression. Paw kneading originates from neonatal behaviors associated with stimulating milk flow and reinforcing early bonding patterns with maternal figures. Ethological evidence demonstrates that this instinctive action persists into adulthood as a self-soothing mechanism that reactivates sensory memories linked to warmth, nourishment, and security. Physiological studies indicate that the rhythmic pressure exerted during kneading elevates oxytocin levels, promoting relaxation, emotional stabilization, and stress reduction. Emotionally, this behavior reflects contentment, attachment, or the need for self-comfort during transitional states, such as resting, settling into a space, or adapting to environmental changes. From a behavioral interpretation standpoint, kneading serves as a clear indicator of positive emotional associations, low threat perception, and reinforcement of safe zone boundaries. Recognizing this behavior provides valuable insight into emotional imprinting, environmental satisfaction, and the expression of comfort-driven states, highlighting how early life experiences shape long-term behavioral patterns and soothing strategies. 5. Ear microtilts as directional attention signals. Ear microtilts operate as finely tuned sensory mapping mechanisms that function like biological radar systems, enabling continuous assessment of surrounding auditory activity. Ethological studies show that even minimal adjustments in ear angle support rapid triangulation of sound sources, a survival-oriented strategy observed across both wild and domestic populations. Neurological research highlights that the ear muscles work semi-independently, allowing simultaneous monitoring of multiple directions and facilitating parallel information processing during environmental scanning. Emotionally, these subtle tilts indicate varying degrees of alertness, selective attention, or mild stress, with the speed and sharpness of each movement reflecting the underlying emotional state. Behavioral interpretation identifies microtilts as early indicators of shifting vigilance, increased sensory engagement, or potential overstimulation long before full-body responses appear. Understanding ear positioning provides valuable insight into cognitive load, sensory prioritization, and emerging mood transitions, helping decode subtle internal states associated with environmental assessment and situational awareness.